Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. And in today's video we're going to be previewing a big game coming up on the weekend. Liverpool versus Arsenal, Saturday 23rd of December, 5:30 kickoff at Anfield, under the lights just before Christmas. And yeah, it doesn't get much bigger than this. First versus second, Klopp versus Arteta. And I'll be honest, this is the game I hate the most every fucking season. Yeah, it's the game I dread more than any, going to Anfield. I just feel Anfield's such a tough place to go and play. I'd rather go to the Etihad. I'd rather go and play Spurs away, Chelsea away, United away, than go to Anfield. I absolutely hate it. And yeah, you know, I don't remember the last time we actually won there. I think we last won there in the league maybe in 2012. I'd have to probably check that, but I'm pretty sure 2012, when Cazorla and Podolski scored in a 2-0 win, I believe it was. But since then, they've had our number, and you know, I mean, in the last 5 or 6 years, they've been by far a better team. Since Klopp's come in, he's really turned them around. They've obviously won Premier Leagues, they've got to Champions League finals, they've won the Champions League, they've won the FA Cup, won the Carling Cup, and it's been them and City going at it for the past 7 years. And now, you know, last season Liverpool had a little bit of a dip in form, finishing 5th. Didn't quite make the Champions League, but they've gone through a bit of a rebuild in the summer, rebuilt their whole midfield. And yeah, they're looking a much better team this season. Now they're sitting second in the table, and a lot of people probably expected them to be going into this game top of the table, as you know, we all kind of expected them to beat Manchester United last week. But United managed to get a draw at Anfield, and Liverpool played really poorly. And I, for one, I'm sure every Arsenal fan are hoping they're going to play as bad as that come Saturday, but I doubt it very much. Klopp's already been out in the media since their Carabao Cup quarter-final win yesterday against West Ham, with a bit of a rallying cry to the fans to make sure that Anfield is loud on Saturday, and that they're going to need the fans. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a really tough game for Arsenal. However, the last 2 times we've been to Anfield, we've not done too badly. We drew 0-0 in a Carabao Cup's first leg semi-final 2 seasons ago, wearing this kit actually. Yeah, drew 0-0, but we did go down to 10 men very early on in that game. Yeah, managed to keep it 0-0, which was a good result. We did lose in the second leg, and Liverpool went to the final and ended up beating Chelsea in the final. But our Anfield result wasn't bad. And then last season, obviously, we was going there chasing the title, and I think it was a point in the season where everyone believed if Arsenal won that game, we go on to win the Premier League. I believe it was in April. We go 2-0 up, absolutely steamed out of the blocks, stuck it on Liverpool, went 2-0 up, and it looked like it was going to be our day. And I still think a key point in that game was when we was 2-0 up, Granit Xhaka getting into a little bit of a row with Trent and rallying up the Anfield crowd, who were silent before that. And then all of a sudden Liverpool kicked into gear, scored one before half time. Second half comes and Liverpool just stuck it on us the whole second half. Salah missed a pen, you know, relatively early in the second half, and then they did manage to score the equaliser around the 87th minute, I believe it was, through Firmino. And Ramsdale had to make 2 unbelievable saves near the end to make sure we left there with a point. So it is a really tough place to go. However, like I said, our recent performances have been better, and hopefully we can take some confidence for that going into this game. And looking at the game, I think it's a game that is going to be full of key battles all over the pitch, and whichever team gets, you know, the better of the individual battles around the pitch will be the team that probably comes out the unwinners, I'd say. So looking at some of the battles, I mean, you really and truly, it's all over the pitch, but I think for both teams, their strengths are their wingers. So for Liverpool, Salah and Diaz, and for Arsenal, obviously Saka and Martinelli. And they're going to be coming up against fullbacks. Both sets of wingers will be coming up against fullbacks that they expect to be getting the better off more often than not. And I think it will come down to whose fullbacks can defend better on the day or push their wingers back the other way. So obviously we've got Martinelli versus Trent. I mean, in terms of a one-on-one battle, there's really, well, there hasn't been in recent games and recent seasons, any competition. Martinelli tends to rip Trent to fucking pieces. However, Trent going the other way, going forward, always seems to get a goal contribution against Arsenal. It's mainly assists. I don't think he's ever scored against us, but he always seems to get some kind of assist against Arsenal. So that's going to be really key. Trent's been in really good form recently, especially in an attacking sense. But how is he going to do when Martinelli gets him one-on-one? I mean, Martinelli's not been the greatest this season, and I feel like this is a really big game for him. And I think it's a game that he will draw confidence from previous games, against Trent, where he's got the better of him numerous times. You look at both games last season at the Emirates and at Anfield, Martinelli got a goal and assist in both games. And yeah, this is a game he tends to really turn up in. Then you look on the other side, Saka versus Tsimikas, who you assume will be playing left back, as he's the only natural left back fit for Liverpool. Obviously, normally it's Andy Robertson, which proves a much sterner test, because when Andy Robertson's fit and playing well, he's probably the best left back in the Premier League. But he's not playing, and Saka will surely fancy his chances against Tsimikas, getting him one-on-one, hopefully beating him and getting the better of him. But again, Liverpool attack so well through their fullbacks. So Saka's got to be on his job going backwards and making sure he follows him the other way. They score a lot of goals through crosses, and it's, their fullbacks getting high and wide is a massive part of their game. Even though Trent has been coming more inverted lately, so that's, Trent will be very key in this game, I feel. If he does go on the overlaps, Martinelli's got to make sure he tracks him. And when he comes inside, I feel like that might be a job for Kai Havertz to follow him around and stop him getting playing, if Kai Havertz does obviously play. And then you look at Liverpool's wingers, Salah against Zinchenko. Zinchenko's already said numerous times on record that Salah's the hardest person he's played against in the Premier League. And, when Salah's on it, he is the best winger in the league by quite some distance. However, I don't think Salah's played particularly well recently. So hopefully that's something that, can maybe go and hopefully that form continues and he doesn't play too well. But the thing is with Salah, even when he doesn't play well, he tends to always pop up with something. And it's, something Zinchenko is going to have to be switched on for 90 minutes. However, I do feel Zinchenko will be getting a lot of help. And I think it's something that Arteta will look to do, will be to get Zinchenko help so Zinchenko can go inside and play his normal game and not get exposed too often one versus one. If you look at last season at Anfield, Gabriel pretty much marked Salah the whole game. And in all honesty, if you go and watch the game back, he done a very good job. He pretty much marked Salah out of the game. I mean, I know Salah did score in that game, but it was from a little bit of a weird cross, and he managed to get in around the back stick for a tap-in. But overall, Gabriel dealt with him very, very well, and I'm sure that will be something Arteta tactically is looking to do again. I think in an ideal world, Tomiyasu would have been perfect for this game to play left back, but unfortunately he's obviously injured. And I'm sure Declan Rice versus Szoboszlai will be a big battle as well. Two midfielders who are new to their teams this season, both had really good starts to the season. Both at different points were tipped for signings of the season. Szoboszlai had a really good start, and a lot of people were saying that perhaps he's signing of the season. But in recent weeks, his form has dipped a bit. Whereas I feel Declan Rice has been consistently brilliant from Arsenal since the first game of the season. And if I was doing, who I think would be signing of the season, not even being biased, I think it's comfortably Rice. But they're both players who have very key roles for both of their teams in slightly different senses. They're both very good, strong runners, powerful runners, can get box to box very easily. Szoboszlai is obviously more of an attacking threat, whereas Declan Rice is more of a defensive-minded player for Arsenal. And I can see them two coming into contact with each other quite a lot. And I do genuinely believe this game could be won and lost in the midfield as well as out wide. And I think Rice versus Szoboszlai will be a really, really big battle. Can Rice stop him, running past him, getting his shots from distance? Because that is something he's very dangerous at. In the last couple of games against West Ham and Man United, Liverpool have had loads and loads of shots from outside the box. And one person you really don't want taking them would be Szoboszlai. So Declan Rice is going to have to be right on it and make sure that he nullifies him as much as possible. But yeah, really big battles out wide and big battles in the middle of the park. If you look at it, both teams on paper, I think Arsenal have the stronger defence overall, and I think we probably have the stronger midfield, and arguably the stronger attack, really. But it's just Liverpool, man. Liverpool at Anfield, you just can't bet against them, and they can turn up at Anfield against absolutely anyone, no matter what the teams are like, and they can turn anyone over. So it is a massive, massive game. And it's one that I think both teams can make a real statement. Obviously, at the minute, both teams are sitting first and second. But like Jamie Carragher said about Liverpool, and I think I would say the same about Arsenal, based on performances, but maybe more so Liverpool, because I think you'd be surprised that both teams are right up there. And, you know, you watch Liverpool and Arsenal sometimes and you think, are they good enough to go and win the Premier League? And I think there's still question marks over both teams in that respect. And, you know, some people would say, how can they not be when they're 4 and 5 points ahead of City, who, you know, many people would still consider the favourites. And they obviously won the treble last year. But the difference is with City, you know, when they need to, they can switch into gear and they can go and win, you know, 15 on the bounce if needed. I think a lot of people still need convincing on Arsenal and Liverpool as real genuine contenders, and I think this game could be a marker for either team. And I'm really hoping it's one that Arsenal really go and grab by the scruff of the neck, get something from the game, hopefully a win, and it'll be a real message to the rest of the league that Arsenal are really serious about winning this Premier League title. And I think it'll give the team so much confidence. And then after the Liverpool game, we've got a fairly decent run where I think we can rack up some wins and put some, you know, distance between ourselves and everyone else, hopefully. So I'm going to go into a predicted Arsenal 11, and then I'm going to do, actually no, tell a lie, I'm going to do a combined, what I think Liverpool Arsenal 11 would be right now, and then I will do my predicted Arsenal 11. As this is a massive game, I feel, you know, games like this would be good to do a combined 11. So if I was doing a combined 11, it'd obviously be Alisson in goal. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. Right back right now, you'd have to go with Trent. I said he's playing really well, especially in an offensive sense. And, you know, on the ball, he's a world-class player on the ball. It's just defensively, sometimes he leaves stuff to be desired. Centre-backs will be Saliba and Van Dijk, and that kills me to leave Gabriel out because I think Gabriel's amazing. But Van Dijk, you know, the last few years has been, you know, one of the best defenders in the world, and this year, last season he sort of had a little bit of a dip after his injury, but this year I think he's been not back to his best, because his best level was just absolutely immense, but you know, he has been back to a very good level. Left back would be Zinchenko, midfield Rice, Odegaard and Szoboszlai. In recent weeks, to be fair, Havertz has been better than Szoboszlai, and I am tempted to put Havertz in. But I just think Szoboszlai as a midfielder is just overall a better midfield player, and I think he'll be a better signing for Liverpool long term than Havertz will be for Arsenal. But I hope I'm wrong. And in the front three, for me, I mean, if you're doing right wing versus right wing, and it's going to break my heart, but at this moment in time, I'd have to leave Saka out, because you can't not put Salah in there. I think Salah's the best right winger in the world, but I think Saka is the second best. And this will be a massive game for Saka to go to Anfield, tear it up, win his team the game, and, you know, then you can start looking at it as maybe, you know, slowly the mantle is starting to be passed over to Saka. But right now, like I said, as much as it kills me, I've got to put Salah in there. I mean, really truly, I should do Salah and Saka on the left, but I'm not going to try cheat it. Left wing, I'll go Martinelli. Again, he's not had the greatest of seasons. I don't think Diaz has had the greatest of seasons, but from the best level we've seen of both of them in the Premier League, I think Martinelli is better, which might be controversial, but, you know, he scored 15 league goals last year, and when he's on it, he is so good. And then up front would be Jesus over Gakpo or Nunez, and I think that's pretty easy, goes without saying. And it'll be a big game for the managers, Klopp versus Arteta. Klopp's obviously already down as a Premier League great as a manager, and I'm sure that's where Arteta wants to get to. Arteta has beaten Klopp before, but he's also been on the wrong end of some bad losses to Liverpool. So this is one where Arteta, if you want to start to win the big titles and be considered, you know, a world-class coach now, you've got to start winning these games. And yeah, it's going to be, I'm dreading it. I'll be honest. I'm absolutely dreading this game. Predicted 11 for Arsenal. I will go with Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice. Do I think Havertz is going to play? I don't know if Jorginho's fit, so I'm going to say Havertz. But if Jorginho's fit, it wouldn't surprise me if he plays just to try to keep control of the tempo in this game. Really, really wouldn't surprise me. So I'll go with Havertz, Odegaard, of course, and then it'll be Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. And yeah, predicted score. I mean, it's going to kill me to say it, but I think we might lose this game. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Liverpool. But it's weird because at the same time, I'm still very confident that if we turn up, we can get something from the game. But it's all about us turning up, controlling our emotions, especially within the environment we're going to be playing in with the atmosphere. And it's also a game I think is actually really important for Arsenal to win when you look at some of the games we lost last season. I mean, if you look in the big away games we've played already this season, Newcastle, Villa and Chelsea, last season we beat all three of those teams away from home. This season we've only ended up with 1 point out of a possible 9. So we've got to start making up points somewhere where we didn't pick them up last season, and that would be like Anfield, you know, going and beating Liverpool away would be a massive 3 points to get. And then later on in the season you look to start making up your points elsewhere, like Old Trafford or the Etihad, which I think would be a stretch. But yeah, massive game for Arsenal. One that, like I said, I believe we can win, but everything's going to have to go away and we're going to have to turn up and play some of our best football of the season. Let me know in the comments what you think the scores will be, lineups, your combined 11. And yeah, catch me on Sunday for the post-match review and match reaction, and hopefully we're celebrating Arsenal being top of the league for Christmas. Thank you guys for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe and share, and yeah, talk to you soon. Bye bye.